Ladies and gentlemen, the kid gloves are off. We have achieved color diversity. We have a yellow, an orange, a red, and a hurricane. Okay, now let me frame this for you. With 4 waves and hurricanes pointed at the United States, if there were 4 white men in boats with AR-15s, although this guy is about to get in his boat in like 10 hours, who said they were going to come ashore and shoot up the coast, it would be on every single news channel around. And then they'd say, not only that, we're going to force you to vape. But we have 1 hurricane and 3 possible hurricanes. And so I'm not hearing much about anything. Everybody's in agreement that all 4 of these are going out to sea. And when I say everybody, I mean the models, because Mets have really not said much about Jerry the last 24 hours. And if that wasn't crazy enough, you have Kiko, Mario, and Lorena Bobbitt will cut your dick off. And technically she did to the east coast of Texas because somehow all of Lorena's moisture jumped over all of Mexico, all of West Texas, and ended up in East Texas. It was some of the weirdest shit I've ever seen, which will get me to another weirder point. This is Hurricane Jerry. Hurricane Jerry, since here, the models have been saying will be going like this. Jerry has basically stayed on a very flat line and is but all models still have it before 75, hitting a wall and then going straight up. And what our battle is here, and yeah, the echo effect stays on as long as I'm in that Fortress of Solitude. All right, so what is happening here is like, here is your, suppose like the trough, the thing that's going to kick Jerry to the curb. It's supposed to get to like here and then kick straight up and then straight back out, right? Okay. But you've got this area of development, you've got Jerry, and then you got this, and technically this may be the Neptune monster we're looking for. But so I want you to look at the size of Jerry. So the models keep adjusting to like somehow just going straight north at some point, even though it hasn't yet or even showed signs. Dakota Smith, 4 straight years, 5 Category 5 hurricanes, 5 incredible eyes. And technically in my book, I'm looking for 2 Cat 5s this year. And I'm wondering if the Neptune opposition asterisk hurricane is like 3 weeks late. Does that mean the October Crystal Rivers, Florida will be 3 weeks late? We will be paying attention. So let me ask you the question. With 4 areas pointed at the United States, what are the odds they're all going to miss? Ask yourself that question at home. This is my big concern earlier, where we take the most dangerous things in priority order of time. This is Jerry right there, right? Still big compared to Puerto Rico. This is the second X wave. Do you see that? Do you see that? Do you see that? That's the size of like 3 or 4 or 5 to 7 large states or 7 medium-sized states of the United States. So that giant lumpy mass has a 70% chance of developing, 40% chance of developing in the next 5 days. And it would take 5 to 7 days to get to the coast, I would guess. I believe this is Invest 99. And so look how big that is. And we've got one of the models hinting that Invest 99 could almost become a Category 5 hurricane. And so if this continues west, this is south of Jerry by like 10 to 12, 15 degrees. And so if this continues west and develops, there is a high probability this would hit the United States. This is also technically south of Jerry. So you have 2 systems south of Jerry, and Jerry is going to miss by a magic trough, asterisk. And before Texas got 43 inches of rain, I said something I'd never said before a hurricane or storm. It wasn't a hurricane, it was a tropical storm. I felt like we were under attack. And then we got hit with 43 inches of rain. And I've been watching as all of this moisture from Lorena Bobbitt skipped all the way over all this area and wound up in East Texas. And now it's doing the same thing. It was skipping all this choice territory, I'd imagine, and ending up in the Midwest. So the Midwest now has major, massive floods coming over the next couple of days because somehow this is skipping to my Lou into the middle. And I don't know, after watching Dorian, it seems like South Florida either has a protective bubble or magic spells or whatever. And so the Bahamas had to take the hit. And so what I'm saying now is that everybody needs to be prepared along the coast. But if I understand correctly, this is like our blue shield trough thingy. Although it's breaking down, it has a better level here. But what I'm saying is that all of this moisture, one way or another, and this is a ton of moisture, is going to be forced through that area. And so if Jerry or any of these develop and move, it would be anywhere from there. I shouldn't to, I mean, it's pretty much the yellow line. Like, so if Jerry does slip under this high, it would be a problem for Florida or the Gulf of Mexico. You see what I'm talking about? Like, pretty much the yellow area is, if it doesn't get kicked out to sea, then I'm going to show you here. Okay. And so if it doesn't get kicked out to sea, it's supposed to, technically, I mean, the models have it like going like, boop, and then they get to about here, and then it just kicks it straight out. And so somehow, if it slips under this, it would put pretty much this, you know, here's your range. And you've got 3 big storms to deal with in the immediate future. And so for now, for these storms, and until it changes, it looks like the Gulf of Mexico, Florida, will be under the gun. Although if this continues to break down, then that would put Georgia, South Carolina into play. And at this point, anything can freaking happen because this is the weirdest hurricane season I've ever been involved in, ever. All right, let's get to Jerry. All right, so Jerry's here, and right, just notice he's barely now above Puerto Rico, so that's good news for Puerto Rico. So here's this wall I'm talking about. Like, it is now at 62-ish, longitude degrees west. Every model run I've seen since the 13th never lets Jerry get past the 70-degree mark. Never. And I've never seen that. I've never seen models lock in. They were showing all these landfalling hurricanes, and then on the 13th, they just stopped completely, and they've never shown any type of landfalling hurricanes. They've never shown, not a single model run of all the different model runs have never shown this one develop. It's never shown this one develop. Not once. You get 4 model runs a day of like 10 different models. That is the weirdest shit I've ever seen. And so 99L is the biggest monster, although when this rolls off, this is going to be a huge, massive monster. The Euro's been drawing it up like crazy every single time it draws it up as a major, massive hurricane. And I think this could be the one that I've been predicting, although I'd be late. And then look at, both of these are much bigger than Jerry. They're both south. This one's way south. And so ask you guys again, what are the odds with all of these pointed towards the United States of America that these are all going to miss? Remember, we got like no warning on Imelda that we were going to get 43 inches of rain. Reminder, that's Jerry. That's 99L, which could wrap up and become up to almost a Category 5 hurricane. Steve Cupertino, the most impressive African easterly wave of the 2019 season, is set to exit the coast this weekend. All of the major global models and their ensembles are bullish on development, with nearly all EPS members showing a tropical storm early next week. So this is the one, like this is the signal I've been looking for the whole time. And the Euro has been drawing it up like a monster, even though it's going to be in unfavorable conditions, which would hint exterior planetary pressure. Okay, and so here's your Azores high. So it's collapsed. That's why everything is just going to roll around this. And it might, but what I'm saying is we're seeing water vapor and water fill up this whole area. And somehow, like I said, if Jerry slips under here, it could be Katie bar the door. Big problems. And this is a bad sign. The two highs look like boobs, but the nipples are in the wrong place. Nobody wants a nipple on the neck. But yes, we have gotten 2 massive rain events in this area in the last 3 years, for sure. Bobby Storm explained that one. 9 and L barely showing up for class, but getting high marks from the NHC. Jerry has a solid core. Go figure. Messy carrier B and blob. It has a friend in the Southwest Caribbean. Yair, help. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. And if you'll notice here, at one point, it was almost like all 3 were trying to circulate. Can you imagine like these 3 things forming up into a super giant hurricane? That would be crazy. I made these earlier to display how weird it was. The GFS had it here, going pretty much like this. Jerry's eye was about here. See, look, here was where the NHC said Jerry's eye should be. Earlier, Jerry's eye was here. Something is off. Somebody's totally rotten in Denmark. Then you got a giant storm coming for the Pac Northwest on the 28th, unless things change. Then you got Pickle Dick the Rick coming to really F up the Midwest with possible North and South Dakota tornadoes. I wasn't kidding about Pickle Rick. See how, like I was saying, that's going to drag a whole lot of moisture. And the main part of it is going to end up over the United States. How that works, I don't even know. I've always believed they could manipulate the weather, but I don't believe they can fully control it. But it definitely seems like the middle of America is paying the price. Either way. Oy vey, the Greenland blocking is returning with a vengeance. What a monster ridge. Okay, so yeah, things are weird. Super duper weird. So you got multiple areas pointed straight at the United States. We can count them 4. This one is lower and much bigger than Jerry. This one is a wild card. Multiple things can screw up the trough. Then you got the major monster we will be watching. This is like the Hurricane Maria equivalent. And then on this side, this could bring heavy rain into the middle of the United States. Some models have shown Mario coming up the coast through here, possibly bringing some heavy rain to these areas. Got Kiko. It's just wild. So I'm going to stay on top of it because that's what I do. I ain't never seen the weirdness in the models that I've seen over the last week. So there you go. God bless everyone. Stay cool.